viewers of YouTube. Been a little while since I made a video, but figured I'd make this one to help some people out. This is a fuel filter head for a 6.6 Duramax. You know, the Chevy 2500s, 3500s, stuff like that. But the problem with this one was they would let it set overnight, and whenever they go to crank it up in the morning, it would run for a few seconds and then shut right back off. And what would happen is, after it would shut off, they'd have to prime it up, and then it would be fine. But when it would set overnight, the seals in this thing were bad, and it would allow air to drift back in the system. So whenever they go to start it in the morning, of course they had air in the fuel system and it wouldn't run. So, but these, I've got this little kit here. It was through FGT Motorsports for like $20, I think, and it even comes with a little billet aluminum bleeder valve, because these little plastic factory ones are bad about stripping out. So this is a pretty straightforward, easy job here. Really, all you need is a flathead screwdriver for that, and a T20 Torx bit socket, and that's pretty much it. And put it back together. I like to use Vaseline on seals because it'll dissolve right into the diesel fuel. It won't hurt the fuel system, but it will allow you to lubricate the O-rings and seals, you know, so you won't risk tearing them or any of that stuff. So let's get started. 3 Torx bits on the top of the primer bulb itself, and there's a spring under here, so whenever you go to loosen that last one up there, just kind of be careful, because it will try to, that spring will try to find a new home under your workbench or somewhere where you can't find it. So there's also a ground wire on these. I clipped this one because I'm going to put a connector here so it can be disconnected and stuff easier. But if you don't want to cut that wire, just take this 1 Torx bit screw out, because the rest of this is made to the harness. So it's a fairly stiff little spring, so be careful with it. You've got your retainer right here, and there's that spring I was telling you about. And there's 2 seals here for the primer bulb. And let me go dump this fuel real quick. Alright, this label cut to the side. Yeah, if you buy these fuel filter heads from the factory or the dealer, I think they want like $500 for the thing. And you can buy one of these seal kits for like $20. But the dealership won't offer a rebuild kit for it, so. And I would not recommend using the Dorman brand kits. I've heard a lot of bad stuff about them, you know, not fitting or anything. So, alrighty. So what we're gonna do first, start with gently removing these. And if you notice on the seal right here, there's a groove cut in it. And this groove is going to face up. So, I don't know if you can tell well, that'll show up on the camera, but it's smooth on this side, grooved on this side. See the groove in it? That groove's going to go up on this. And both of these seals, let me see. And then the top one, the top seal will go up, the groove will go up. And the bottom seal, the groove will go down. These seals were probably fine, but while I'm in here, we'll go ahead and change them. Alright. So we'll make sure this is a clean. I've had a back injury and I've been down for about 3 weeks, so my garage is very dirty. I have to clean that when I get film a little bit better. Alright. I'm just going to clean these grooves out. I'm going to keep all this stuff just as clean as possible. Alright, so here's our two old seals. Let's not get them confused with the new ones. Alright. So here's our two seals, you know, like I say again, that's got the grooves in them. So the seal on the bottom, the groove's going to go down. The seal on the top, the groove's going to go up. So, say groove on the bottom. And of course we'll have to put it in the first groove first, and then walk it down. These things can be a little bit of a pain. Just take your time with them and don't get in a rush. I think that thing's camera shy. I just jumped on the floor. Alright, so we got this one on. Now let's put the top one on with the groove facing up. Alright, now we got those on. And we'll take the primer cup, clean the inside of it, because this is where the seal's right at, is on the inside of this. Like I say, just use Vaseline, because Vaseline's extremely mild. You can use it on, I use it on assembling automatic transmissions and everything. It'll just dissolve right into the fuel or the oil or whatever you're working on, and it won't hurt a thing. Just coat that really well, because that'll Vaseline will keep it from keep the lips of the seal from folding out or tearing or anything like that too. So I'm just going to put that right on there. Just be careful and make sure this seal don't walk out on you. Now the second seal, it'll be a lot easier to push this cup past, because the way the lip is, it's facing this way, so that's fine. So there's that part. We'll stick our spring with that. We'll come over here, and there's a seal right here, and which will be this seal. So clean it up real good. Put the O-ring here. There's no reason to lubricate this O-ring, because there's no moving parts on it. It's just this housing goes on it and seals it. So, alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. Get it out of the way. Or the retainer here on there. Start a couple of these screws. Now, I may be putting this ground strap back in the wrong place, because I really didn't pay that much of attention to where it came off of, but in my case that won't matter. But in your case, just kind of remember which screw that this ground strap went on to. snug them up in sequence. You know, don't tighten one all the way down first, just kind of go around in a circle here. And these things don't have to be super tight either. They're tightening down on the plastic spacers, so be careful. Alright. Now we're going to flip over here. Get out of the way, rag. We're going to take this bleeder screw out. That thing make a good duck call, wouldn't it? I'm going to put the aftermarket one in it, which is billet aluminum. I'm going to put a little Vaseline on this O-ring too, because when it screws down in there, this will keep it from kinking up and damaging it and all that good stuff. The actual seal that was leaking on this was this little port right here where the connector goes to tell you if you got fuel in, or water in your fuel. So we're on the back side now. And there's also a spring here because there's a check ball right there. So be careful with this spring too, because that's another one that'll try to come out and get you. So let's just take these two screws out now. Same size Torx bit, by the way. You might have to help it out. There we go. See the spring tension on it? Alright. There's an O-ring in here. Don't lose this little ball or spring. Little plastic check ball. Right over here. Alright. So we're going to peel this O-ring out. Yeah, it's pretty stiff. There's some remnants of this O-ring left on here. This truck's like a 2002 model, so you gotta think it's been on there for what, 15 years? So, alright. So we'll take this O-ring, put it right here. And here's the leaking culprit right here on this one that was giving so much trouble. So it just comes out of that little hole right there. And where the O-ring seats at it, on mine it looks clean, so I don't even have to clean it out. Alright, now we're going to gently push that O-ring against the housing until it seats up against it. Alright, that's all the way seated up. Now this is going to go through there, so I'm going to put Vaseline right here to lubricate the ring going in here, and this one it won't have anything sliding past it, so there's no point in lubricating that. Oh yeah, you can definitely tell that that's a lot tighter fit. Oh yeah. Anyways, I was taking that. Don't forget to put your check ball and stuff back in there. And another trick too. Kind of looks like Vaseline's my sponsor or something, but this stuff really does work for everything. But this ball's going to want to try to jump out and stuff. But one way to keep it from doing that is kind of use this Vaseline like glue. just kind of put it in there, and now that's going to help it stick to that spring, and it's not going to want to jump out on me. So, all right. Just be careful. See, it just went past the O-ring. So. Put our 2 screws in there. After I'm done here, I'll take you out to the truck and show you what actually holds this onto the engine. It takes like 5 minutes to take this off, and about 10-15 minutes to rebuild this. Alright, same way here, just snug them up. Don't go all crazy on the torque there. And that's it. So, I'm going to go stick this back on the truck and bleed the air out of the system and everything, hook my wire back up, and I will show you all what this looks like. Like we're good. Yep, looks like we're good to go. There wasn't any leaks or anything, so before, the whole top of that filter head would just get soaked in diesel fuel, and it was leaking so bad. So then, of course, when it would set at night, it would suck air into it, and then when they go to start it the next morning, it would get air in the fuel system, and they'd have to bleed it every time. So, but another tip here is, this right here is a bleeder screw, but I never mess with that. What I always do when I change a fuel filter on these or open the fuel system is I'll prime the fuel filter up by the little primer bubble here. And once it gets getting tight, I'll come over here, and there's actually a test port for fuel pressure right here. And once it gets tight, I will take a screwdriver or something and push that down, and it'll push all the air out of it. And I'll keep doing that until there's no air left in it. And then it'll fire right up every time. The only downside about that is it, kind of makes a mess right here around your belts and stuff. But other than making a mess, I've never had it hurt anything or hurt the belt or anything. So, but in my opinion, that's just a lot easier, because it, even when you bleed it right here, you've still got some air in the fuel lines on up through here and stuff. But that just, to me, it just eliminates it, and gets it closer to the fuel injectors whenever you prime it. But anyways, if y'all have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section and I'll answer them. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.